The auction hall buzzed with excitement, a grand dome of glass and metal reflecting countless stars outside. Ships of all sizes and ages floated in the display bays, each with flashing holographic banners boasting their features. Some were sleek, shining like liquid silver, while others glowed with colors that hinted at alien technology far beyond human understanding. Dealers shouted bids in alien tongues, numbers racing across holographic boards, while buyers from distant worlds inspected their potential prizes with careful eyes. Among these magnificent vessels sat one ship that hardly drew any attention. Its hull was scratched, its engines silent, and the markings of previous owners faded. A small sign hung beside it, Aggressive-class starship, rejected for obsolete systems. The other bidders passed it by with polite disinterest. To them, the ship was nothing more than a failure, a mistake of design that had survived longer than its usefulness. Whispers floated through the crowd. "Old tech," said a four-armed trader from Varthan Prime. "Can't compete with new designs," murmured a sleek, bird-like alien, eyes glinting with scorn. No one noticed when a young human approached the ship. She moved with quiet confidence, eyes shining with curiosity rather than doubt. Her name was Iliara, and she was barely 16, though her reputation on her home colony was already growing. Where others saw rust and failure, she saw potential. Where others dismissed old tech, she imagined possibilities. She stood in front of the ship, examining it from tip to tail. Its design was angular, almost aggressive, as if it had once been built to intimidate. Now it looked tired but not broken. Something about the way the ship seemed to lean slightly toward her made Iliara smile. "I wonder what secrets you're hiding," she whispered, almost to herself. Around her, the auction continued in a frenzy. Hollow displays flickered, numbers changed, and alien voices argued. Yet Iliara remained calm. She had saved enough credits for one purpose, to bring this ship home. She was willing to bet that the ship could be more than its reputation. The auctioneer, a tall alien with a shimmering silver head and 6 blinking eyes, announced the next bid. Aggressive-class starship. Condition rejected. Starting bid, 5,000 credits. Who will begin? A few small bids came in but quickly faded. Most buyers were already distracted by newer, shinier models. Iliara raised her hand. "I'll bid 50,000 credits," she said, her voice clear, calm, and confident. The room fell silent for a moment. Some humans glanced at her with surprise, though humans were rare in this part of the galaxy. Most aliens looked down their beaks, ridged jaws, or eye stalks in mild amusement. 50,000 credits was bold for a human, and it was far more than anyone expected for a rejected ship. Another bidder, a tall, gray-scaled creature, frowned and offered 60,000 credits. Iliara did not hesitate. 70,000, she said. The auctioneer's many eyes blinked rapidly. 70,000, do I hear 80? A murmur ran through the hall. Humans did not usually bid boldly. Aliens, confident in their superiority, often assumed that humans lacked the resources or the patience to understand alien machinery. Iliara's calmness unsettled them. 80,000, the scaled alien offered again, his voice sharp. 85,000, Iliara countered. The room fell into a tense silence. Nobody had expected her to outbid seasoned alien traders. Her calm determination drew attention, though most buyers assumed she would falter soon. Then she smiled, a small, confident smile. 90,000, she said. The alien's jaw tightened. 100,000, it hissed. Iliara did not flinch. 105,000. The auctioneer's eyes blinked rapidly, and then, with a sharp tone, he said, "Sold. To the young human for 105,000 credits." A ripple of disbelief ran through the hall. Aliens whispered among themselves. Some muttered that she must be foolish. Others secretly admired her courage. Iliara, however, simply nodded and made her way to the ship. She ran her fingers over the hull, feeling the metal, the worn edges, and the intricate curves. Despite its age, the ship had character, a design that spoke of strength and speed. She walked along the deck, peering into the cockpit. Old displays flickered with faded lights, and dusty panels begged to be touched, explored, and understood. "This is going to be fun," she said softly. The ship seemed to hum in response, almost as if it recognized her curiosity. Iliara knew this feeling well. She had a talent for connecting with machines, especially ones that others had given up on. She could sense hidden potential, dormant systems, and possibilities that others could not. She spent hours exploring the ship at the auction hub. Small tools in hand, she carefully opened panels, studied wiring, and made notes. The more she explored, the more she realized how clever the original design had been. Systems were compact, efficient, and modular. The ship had been rejected not because it was bad, but because others had failed to see its true capability. Then she noticed something unusual. Hidden beneath layers of old programming, there was a strange interface that didn't match any of the known starship systems. Its symbols were alien, unfamiliar, and glowing faintly. Iliara's heart raced. "What are you hiding?" she murmured. She pulled out her datapad and began to scan the interface. Hours passed, but she was undeterred. Most humans would have given up long ago, intimidated by alien technology and the apparent complexity. Iliara, however, had patience and, more importantly, curiosity. She could feel that this ship held secrets waiting to be unlocked. As night fell over the auction hub, the other buyers left, some frustrated, some amused, and some secretly impressed. Iliara remained in the bay, sitting on the ship's hull and studying the interface. Lights flickered as she worked, and the hum of the ship felt almost like breathing. Her mind raced with ideas. If she could unlock this interface, she might awaken systems that no one had used for decades. Perhaps this ship could do more than anyone imagined. Perhaps it could become something remarkable. A sudden beep made her jump. One of the panels she had opened flickered to life. Tiny lights danced across the old displays, forming a pattern that seemed almost like a greeting. Iliara stared in wonder. This is incredible," she whispered. At that moment, she knew that the real adventure was about to begin. She had bought a ship that everyone else had dismissed, but she could feel that this was no ordinary vessel. Something extraordinary waited inside, something that only a human mind could discover. The hall lights dimmed, leaving Iliara and the ship in a soft glow. She traced her fingers over the controls, her imagination already leaping ahead to the possibilities. The auction hub, with all its noise and chaos, seemed far away now. Here, in the quiet hum of the rejected ship, a new journey was beginning. She leaned back, looking at the control panel, and smiled. "Tomorrow," she said, "we start restoring you. And then we see what you can really do." The ship seemed to respond, a gentle vibration running through its frame, almost like it understood. Iliara laughed softly. She had no idea what she would find inside, but she knew one thing for certain. This ship would not remain rejected for long. And for the first time, a young human felt the thrill of destiny brushing against her fingertips. She had secured a vessel the galaxy had abandoned, and in its silent circuits she sensed the whisper of adventure, waiting to be awakened. The stars outside shimmered, reflected in the dome above. And in the quiet hum of the auction bay, a young human and a rejected starship began the first chapter of a story that would change how the galaxy saw humanity. The next morning, Iliara returned to the auction bay with a bag full of tools, a datapad, and a mind buzzing with possibilities. The hall was quieter now, the rush of the previous day's bidding replaced by the hum of maintenance drones and the occasional echo of distant conversations. Most of the aliens had left, unwilling to waste any more time on what they still considered a failure. But Iliara didn't care about their opinions. To her, the ship was alive with potential, and she could feel it in every panel, every wire, every faded display. She climbed aboard and ran her fingers over the control panel, feeling a subtle vibration as if the ship was acknowledging her presence. "Good morning, old friend," she said, smiling. "Ready to show me your secrets?" She began systematically exploring every compartment, every module, and every system the ship had to offer. Dusty panels opened to reveal neatly coiled wires, tiny circuits, and hidden compartments filled with old star maps and calibration tools. The ship had been neglected for years, but it had been built with care. Every piece fit perfectly, every mechanism was precise, even after decades of disuse. Iliara's eyes lit up when she found the first unusual system. A small console, almost hidden under layers of outdated tech, blinked faintly with a pale green light. Its interface was unlike anything she had seen before, symbols that seemed alive, shifting slightly as if observing her. She tapped the controls and the ship responded with a soft hum. "It's waiting," she whispered, leaning closer. Hours passed as she studied the interface. Most humans might have been overwhelmed, but Iliara had patience. She compared the strange symbols with known alien coding systems, making careful notes and testing small commands. Every success encouraged her. Every failure taught her something new. By afternoon, she had managed to reactivate a series of dormant systems. Lights flickered along the ship's inner hull, indicating that propulsion modules, navigation systems, and auxiliary power were slowly coming back online. The ship no longer felt like a relic. It felt like a puzzle, waiting for the right mind to bring it to life. As she worked, she noticed something remarkable. The ship seemed to respond to her touch. Panels she hadn't activated would light up briefly as if acknowledging her presence. Motors made soft, precise movements, almost like the ship was testing her, seeing if she understood it. Iliara smiled. "You're smarter than I thought," she said, "and I think we're going to make a great team." She spent days in the auction hub, each day discovering more hidden systems. One evening, as the twin suns of the nearby planet set and bathed the hall in golden light, she unlocked a compartment in the engine bay. Inside was a small, spherical module, unlike anything she had seen before. It pulsed gently and faint patterns of light moved across its surface. "This is advanced," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. "Way beyond what anyone said about you." Carefully, she connected it to the ship's main console. The module hummed in response, and the ship shivered slightly, as if waking up after a long sleep. Data streams appeared on the displays, star charts, alien symbols, calculations she could barely understand at first. But Iliara had a sharp mind. She studied the patterns, making notes, drawing connections, and gradually decoding what the module was capable of. It was an ancient navigation AI, lost to the galaxy for centuries. Most species would have discarded it, unable to understand its complexity. But humans had something different: intuition, creativity, and patience. Iliara could see patterns the AI had left intentionally for someone clever enough to find them. Slowly, she understood how to communicate with it. "Hello," she said, uncertainly. A soft, melodic tone responded, followed by a sequence of symbols on the screen. Iliara's eyes widened. The AI wasn't just functional, it was sentient, aware of its surroundings and curious about her. "You understand me?" she asked, heart racing. Symbols shifted rapidly, forming a pattern that she could interpret. "Yes, curious human, you awaken me." Iliara laughed softly. "Well, I suppose we can learn from each other then." The AI guided her through a series of tests, activating hidden propulsion systems and defensive modules that had never been used. The ship accelerated smoothly, its old engines now enhanced with the AI's forgotten optimizations. Iliara marveled at how the ship moved, not just fast but precise, elegant, and intelligent in its responses. Over the next few days, she tested every system. Shields hummed faintly, energy channels balanced perfectly, and the ship's sensors could detect objects light years away. Other humans at the hub occasionally stopped by, curious about the human who had revived a rejected vessel. They whispered among themselves, impressed by what she was achieving. One evening, Eliara stepped outside the cockpit and looked at the stars through the dome of the auction hall. The galaxy seemed bigger than she had ever imagined, filled with ships, planets, and civilizations she had never visited. Yet in her hands she held a ship that could take her anywhere, navigate dangers others could not, and reveal secrets long forgotten. "This is just the beginning," she said quietly. She returned to the cockpit and noticed a faint glimmer on the console. Another hidden interface had appeared, triggered by her progress with the AI. She tapped it, and a holographic map of unexplored regions unfolded. Unknown star systems, strange anomalies, and lost outposts of civilizations long gone were displayed in stunning detail. Eliara's pulse quickened. No human or alien had charted these regions for centuries. With this ship she could explore places no one else could. And perhaps in the process, humans would earn respect across the galaxy, not by fighting, but by uncovering knowledge and mastering technology others had abandoned. As she worked late into the night, the auction hall quiet around her, Eliara realized something important. The ship was not just a vessel. It was a partner, a mentor, and a challenge. Together, they could achieve what many thought impossible. For the first time, she felt a true connection with a machine. The AI responded to her commands not because it had to, but because it wanted to. The ship's systems, once dormant and dismissed, now thrummed with life under her guidance. Every small success brought a spark of joy, and every mystery solved revealed another waiting to be uncovered. By the end of the week, Eliara had done more than anyone had thought possible. The once rejected ship was now fully functional, its systems enhanced by her clever thinking and the AI's forgotten wisdom. She ran a final test of the propulsion engines, and the ship glided smoothly, faster, and more stable than any other vessel in the auction hub. Other buyers had begun to notice. Aliens who had once ignored the ship now stopped and watched in silence as she worked. Whispers spread through the hall. "Is that human?" one asked, eyes wide. "They're improving it," another said incredulously. Eliara paid no attention to the murmurs. She was too focused on the ship, on the lights flickering across the console, on the hum of the engines, and the gentle pulses of the AI module. The ship responded to her touch, almost like it was alive. She could feel its potential, and she knew that the galaxy had never seen a vessel like this before. That night, as the stars gleamed outside, Eliara sat in the cockpit, her legs dangling over the edge of the seat, staring at the unknown reaches of space displayed on the holographic map. The AI pulsed softly beside her, almost like a heartbeat. She smiled, feeling a thrill of excitement and anticipation. "Tomorrow," she whispered, "we see what you can really do." And with that, the young human and her newly awakened starship prepared for the first steps of a journey that would challenge the galaxy's assumptions about humanity. The stars outside shimmered, reflecting in the polished hull, as if the universe itself was watching, waiting to see what a clever human and a once-rejected ship could achieve together. The sun rose over the auction hub, spilling golden light across the polished floors and reflecting in the gleaming hulls of countless starships. Most buyers had returned to their home systems, eager to inspect their new acquisitions. Yet Eliara was already aboard her ship, the rejected aggressive class, preparing for its first true test beyond the stationary display bay. The AI module pulsed gently as she climbed into the cockpit, its soft glow reflected on her determined face. "Ready?" she asked. The AI responded with a series of melodic tones, the familiar pattern she had grown used to during days of careful tinkering, ready to explore. Eliara grinned. Today, she would prove that a human could awaken a ship long thought obsolete and make it greater than anyone imagined. She initiated the startup sequence, and the ship responded with a hum that vibrated through her seat. Panels flickered to life, displays aligned, and the engines roared quietly as systems came online. She ran her final checks: propulsion, shields, navigation, sensors, and the AI interface. Every system was responsive, enhanced, and optimized. "Let's see what you've got," she whispered. The ship lifted smoothly from its docking bay, rising into the air with the grace of a predator long dormant. The AI guided her through delicate maneuvers, revealing hidden capabilities that surpassed standard starship functions. The engines, enhanced by decades-old design combined with her human intuition, allowed rapid acceleration while maintaining remarkable stability. Even turns at high speeds felt effortless. From the observation deck, Iliara watched as other humans and aliens paused to look. Whispers spread through the hub: "That ship, it's moving differently." "They said it was rejected," an alien voice exclaimed. "They said a human could never handle it," another muttered. Iliara ignored them. She was focused, alert, and exhilarated. With every control input, she felt the ship responding, almost as if it understood her thoughts. The AI seemed to anticipate her intentions, making adjustments and enhancements automatically. Together, they were a perfect team: human creativity guiding raw potential, and ancient technology lending precision and speed. She decided to test the ship's sensors. Panels flickered with readings of nearby celestial bodies, mapping the surrounding star systems with stunning accuracy. The AI guided her hand over a set of coordinates pointing to an uncharted region. This sector had been unexplored for centuries, left blank on every known map. "Uncharted space," she whispered. "I can't wait to see what's there." The ship responded instantly, plotting a course that minimized risk while maximizing efficiency. The controls, once confusing to alien engineers, were intuitive in human hands. Iliara realized that what others considered a flaw in design, its complexity, was actually an advantage. Where other species relied on automation and strict protocols, she could adapt, improvise, and discover new ways to use the ship's systems. As she entered the first jump corridor, the AI guided her through hyperspace calculations. The jump was smooth, almost seamless. The stars outside stretched and shimmered as the ship accelerated, faster than many newer models in the hub. Iliara laughed aloud, a mixture of delight and disbelief. "This is incredible," she shouted, the wind of exhilaration rushing past her in the open cockpit dome. "I didn't think it could move like this." The ship responded with a pulse of light, as if sharing her joy. Panels displayed enhanced diagnostics, confirming the success of the jump. Other ships in the hub's observation bays flickered in envy as Iliara demonstrated maneuvers previously thought impossible for this class of starship. Word began to spread across the hub. Alien engineers and traders gathered near the viewing galleries, whispering among themselves. "A human is piloting it. They've unlocked something no one else could." Iliara paid no mind. She was busy exploring the first anomalies in uncharted space. Strange energy readings, previously invisible to conventional scanners, appeared on her displays. Faint pulses of light flickered across the empty void, remnants of ancient civilizations, drifting star dust, and the hidden paths between known systems. The AI guided her toward one such anomaly, a small cluster of asteroids glimmering faintly with unusual radiation. Iliara maneuvered the ship carefully, scanning the cluster for signs of danger or hidden treasures. Each system she activated revealed new secrets: energy fields, mineral veins, and even abandoned alien satellites that had long been forgotten. She carefully mapped every detail, knowing that no alien or human had recorded these systems for centuries. Every measurement she took, every data point she collected, added to humanity's knowledge of the galaxy, and she was doing it with a ship everyone else had deemed worthless. "This is why humans aren't taken seriously," she said softly. "We see what others ignore. We explore what others dismiss, and we keep going no matter what." As she navigated the asteroid cluster, the ship performed flawlessly. Its engines glowed with hidden efficiency. Sensors detected microscopic particles in space, and the AI adapted to the tiniest variations in gravitational pull. Together, human and machine achieved feats even advanced alien ships could not manage. Back in the auction hub, alien traders and engineers watched through observation links. Holodisplays tracked her every move. Some were impressed, some were bewildered, and some were outright angry that a human had achieved what they could not. "She's improvising," one alien whispered, "but how? The systems are too complex." "She's human," another hissed. "They think differently, they adapt." Iliara smiled to herself, sensing their awe without needing to look. She focused on the task at hand, exploring, learning, and mastering the ship. Each new discovery reinforced her confidence and her bond with the vessel. Hours passed as she charted new sectors, each more fascinating than the last. She found small pockets of energy anomalies, hidden asteroid tunnels, and remnants of long-lost civilizations. The ship's AI commented in melodic tones, providing guidance while letting her experiment. "You're learning fast," it said, its symbols forming on the console. "You understand patterns humans rarely notice." "And you're teaching me," she replied, her fingers flying over the controls. "We make a great team, don't we?" The AI pulsed softly, agreeing. "Together, we are capable of what others dismiss." By evening, she returned to the auction hub, the ship gliding in smoothly, almost dancing through the corridors. Observers gasped. The once rejected starship had moved with elegance, speed, and precision unmatched by even the most modern vessels. Iliara stepped out of the cockpit, her hair tousled from the excitement, her eyes shining with triumph. The hub was silent. Every alien and human present stared at her, some in disbelief, some in admiration. Whispers spread quickly. A human had taken a rejected ship, awakened it, and explored what no one else dared. Iliara looked around, smiling modestly. She didn't need their approval, but she felt a quiet satisfaction knowing that her work had earned respect, even if silently. The ship, now fully awake, hummed softly behind her, ready for the next adventure. "Tomorrow," she said quietly to herself, "we push even further." She walked to a quiet corner of the hub, pulling out her datapad and reviewing the day's discoveries. The coordinates of new systems, hidden anomalies, and uncharted paths glowed on the screen. Every piece of data was a victory, not just for her, but for humanity. The hub was no longer just a place of commerce. It had become a stage for something bigger. And the galaxy, unknowingly, was beginning to take notice. Iliara leaned back, taking a deep breath. She thought of her home colony, of the humans who had worked tirelessly with limited resources, and of her own determination to see what others overlooked. She realized something profound. Humans were underestimated not because of weakness, but because no one truly understood their curiosity, ingenuity, and persistence. And now, one young human and a once rejected ship were about to change that. The stars outside shimmered, reflecting in the dome of the hub as if the universe itself was watching, waiting for what a clever human and a brilliant, awakened ship could accomplish. Iliara smiled, her heart racing with excitement and anticipation. The ship had been rejected. The galaxy had dismissed it. But together, human and starship were about to show what could happen when curiosity, intelligence, and courage combined. And this was only the beginning. The auction hub was quiet that morning, but not for long. News of Iliara's feats had spread like a wave through the space lanes. Traders, engineers, and curious observers arrived early, eager to witness the human who had revived a rejected ship and made it perform in ways no one thought possible. Iliara arrived aboard her ship, now gleaming after days of careful maintenance and enhancements. Its once scratched hull reflected the morning light, highlighting every curve and panel that now gleamed with life. The AI pulsed gently, almost proud, as she stepped onto the deck. "Ready for the big day," she asked softly. Always, the AI responded. Today wasn't just about testing systems or exploring uncharted space. Today, Iliara would show the galaxy what humans could achieve, not with strength or weapons, but with curiosity, intelligence, and determination. She climbed into the cockpit and initiated the startup sequence. The ship responded instantly, engines humming smoothly, shields calibrating, and navigation systems lighting up. Iliara ran a final check, smiling as the AI displayed hidden pathways and energy patterns that other species had long abandoned. Outside the hub, alien observers gathered on balconies and viewing platforms. Many had been skeptical before, dismissing the human child as inexperienced. Now, they whispered in awe and disbelief as the ship lifted effortlessly, gliding through the air with precision and grace. The first demonstration was simple but effective. Iliara guided the ship through a series of complex maneuvers that would challenge even the most seasoned pilots. The ship banked sharply, spiraled, and accelerated smoothly, responding perfectly to her inputs. Observers gasped. Some had never seen a ship handle like this. She's controlling it perfectly, one alien murmured. They said it was obsolete, another whispered, but it's incredible. Iliara paid no attention to the murmurs. She was focused on the ship, feeling its power and intelligence merge with her own. The AI guided her subtly, suggesting minor optimizations that enhanced speed and stability. Together, they moved as one, human intuition and alien engineering in perfect harmony. After the maneuver demonstration, Iliara set the ship on a course for an uncharted sector she had explored during previous days. She wanted to show the observers the ship's true potential, its ability to navigate, map, and understand regions no one else dared to enter. The ship's sensors lit up, detecting small gravitational anomalies, faint energy trails, and remnants of forgotten civilizations. Each reading revealed patterns and information that no other species had recorded. Iliara guided the ship carefully, demonstrating not just speed and agility, but intelligence, problem-solving, and careful observation. The AI highlighted paths through asteroid fields that would have been dangerous for even advanced ships. Iliara followed, weaving between massive rocks with precision, her hands steady, her mind alert. The observers watched, riveted, as the ship moved through impossible terrain without a single error. "This is remarkable," whispered one engineer from Varthan Prime. "No human should be able to do this." "They see patterns we cannot," another replied. "Their curiosity, it's different." Iliara smiled quietly to herself. This was exactly what she wanted the galaxy to understand. Humans were not weaker, smaller, or inferior. They simply saw the world differently, adapted quickly, and solved problems that others could not. As the demonstration continued, she guided the ship to a small, derelict satellite. It had drifted for centuries, forgotten by all but the AI, which recognized its purpose. Iliara carefully maneuvered the ship, scanning and mapping the satellite's systems. The data streamed into her datapad, creating a complete reconstruction of the long-lost technology. "This is knowledge," she whispered, eyes shining. "Not weapons, not power, knowledge." The AI pulsed softly, acknowledging the insight. Knowledge preserved. Humans understand value. Observers were stunned. They realized that this young human had accomplished what advanced alien engineers could not. She had restored a rejected ship, awakened an ancient AI, and used it to explore, understand, and map regions of space lost to history. And she had done it without conflict, without coercion, and without relying on brute force. Back in the hub, traders and engineers approached her cautiously. Some offered congratulations, others questions, and a few even asked for guidance. Iliara explained her methods with patience and clarity, showing how careful observation, experimentation, and intuition had brought the ship back to life. Her words resonated. Aliens who had once mocked her began to understand. Humans, they realized, were not just another species to underestimate. They were problem solvers, explorers, and creators. Iliara's ship had become a symbol, a reminder that intelligence, curiosity, and persistence could achieve greatness. The hub, once filled with dismissive voices, now hummed with admiration. Other humans quietly smiled, proud that one of their own had changed the galaxy's perception. By evening, Iliara stood outside the ship, gazing at the stars. The AI pulsed gently and she could sense its satisfaction. Together, they had proven that being underestimated could be a strength. While others relied on assumptions and labels, humans had vision, patience, and ingenuity. "This is only the beginning," she said softly. "There's so much more out there, and we'll explore it all." The hub's administrators approached her, offering a proposal. They wanted her to take the ship on official exploratory missions, to map regions of the galaxy long neglected, and to share her discoveries. Iliara considered it briefly. She could accept, but she knew that the most important part of this journey was freedom, the ability to explore and learn without limitations. "I'll do it," she said finally, "but only on our terms. We'll explore, discover, and share knowledge, not compete, not fight." The administrators nodded, impressed by her confidence and clarity. Word spread quickly. A human had restored a rejected starship, unlocked ancient technology, and begun exploring the galaxy in ways no one else could. As night fell, Iliara climbed back into the cockpit one last time for the day. The stars stretched across the sky, endless and full of possibilities. She initiated a small jump sequence, sending the ship gliding silently toward an uncharted cluster of stars. The AI guided her, systems humming in perfect harmony. In that moment, she realized something profound. Humanity's greatest strength was not in size, speed, or firepower. It was in curiosity, creativity, and the determination to see what others overlooked. And together, humans and technology could accomplish anything, even awaken a rejected ship and turn it into a legend. Back at the hub, observers watched her departure in awe. Aliens whispered among themselves, humans clapped quietly, and the reputation of humanity began to shift, slowly but unmistakably. This one young human had achieved what many had thought impossible, proving that underestimating humans was a mistake no species should ever repeat. Iliara looked at the stars, feeling a thrill of excitement and possibility. She and her ship had a universe to explore, knowledge to uncover, and mysteries to solve. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, she knew the journey had only just begun. Her ship, once rejected and abandoned, now gleamed with life, intelligence, and promise. And so, the galaxy began to see humans in a new light, not as small, weak, or insignificant, but as thinkers, explorers, and innovators capable of extraordinary feats. Iliara smiled, fingers resting lightly on the controls as the ship hummed beneath her. Together, they had transformed rejection into triumph. And together, they would continue to prove that curiosity, intelligence, and courage could change the universe. For a young human and her once rejected starship, the adventure had just begun, and the galaxy would never forget the lesson they had taught: never underestimate humanity.